The big news is that the Pentagon has launched a thorough review into Democratic Senator Mark Kelly over his video to the troops. He's pushed back on this. I want to just stress, while this matters in the short term politically, I don't think anything's going to happen. They're reviewing what he said, serious allegations of misconduct. This is stamp collecting, right? This is not any legitimate indictment. They're not. Trump has said they're seditious. Pete Hegseth called them seditious. We were just talking about the data center takeover. I believe what we're seeing in politics and the culture wars, whether intentionally or otherwise, is distracting us from the fact that data centers are buying up all the land, and only when it clashes with the local farm does it get into the press. But in the meantime, no one knows it's happening, and we're talking about this story, which I'm going to stress again. A review is meaningless. So that's why we're talking about data centers. But to be fair, I do believe there is some merit to this story. So, of course, there could be some political ramifications. And I will stress, if we actually do win politically, we can do something about data center takeovers. Yep. I will then stress, in a rather pessimistic way, Donald Trump is one of the biggest champions of the expansion of AI in data centers.
Pretty unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, according to the people that are looking to regulate AI and stuff, they do see it as an existential threat for the United States versus China, right? Whether or not you agree, China is investing heavily in power production. Mm-hmm. You know, they've got the Three Gorges Dam. They're building a bigger one. They've been investing in, and they have an all types of energy policy. So they're doing coal, they're doing nuclear, they're doing solar. Everything they can, because China looks at AI as the future. And the United States is very, very, very behind on that. And I don't know what the people in the free world are looking to do versus what China's going to do. But if China wins the AI race and they do actually, if AGI is possible and China achieves AGI before, the United States or before Western countries, that's going to be a big problem for the rest of the world.
It's funny, though, because the tech vampires will talk out of both sides of their mouth. On one side, they'll say, we have to beat them. We got to beat China. On the other side, they say China is only doing well because they keep taking our chips. So it's like, maybe we're just giving them everything.
I don't, to say from NVIDIA, the government, federal government, United States federal government limits what they're allowed to sell to China.
And they still got it, though.
I think it's fair to say that no one cares about this review of Mark Kelly.
Well, I heard Obama was treasonous as well, and I haven't seen anything.
No, I just mean, like, we can't get off the subject of AI data center takeover because no, but I think the fair point is that what more is to be said about their thorough review, which means they're going to do what? Nothing.
Well, I mean, he can be recalled to service, which he could then be prosecuted under the Military Code of Justice.
UCMJ, yeah.
Yeah, but announcing a thorough review sounds like a PR statement, and then
I guess, but you have to do an investigation before you go through the process, right, Phil?
Mm-hmm. Pardon me?
You got to do the proper process.
Yes, you do. You have to do process. I mean, if you don't do the proper process, then there's no point in doing it at all, because you end up with what's going on with Comey now. And I know that there are people that find that incredibly unsatisfying, because they want to see someone just come in and start throwing people in dungeons because they're looking for a king to fix the problems. And, I mean, we don't have that.
Yeah. No, I want the process too. I just want it to be faster.
Yeah.
Really fast. I want
2-day review, recall.
Yeah, see people testifying before.
I know. If you had AI actually collecting the information. And
you working for big AI?
I really do feel like the principal issue we're facing is not political right now, because Trump and the Democrats are all on board with the AI expansion.
If you want to connect it to the idea of good versus evil, and there's no religion anymore, except I think there is a revival happening, especially after what happened to Charlie.
Among young men, mostly.
What Silicon Valley is doing is building their own theology, and everything they do is attached to a false religion. And they consider themselves Manhattan Project 2.0. That's what Karp says. And the first atom bomb they ever exploded was the Trinity. We have Eve, which is the first Neuralink. Everything they do is about their own God, small g God. Elon calls it summoning a demon, or now he calls it summoning God. Peter Thiel says if you criticize AI, you are a legionnaire of the Antichrist. So if we're going to talk about the fight of good and evil, this is the next step of it.
Is he arguing that, like, the Messiah is the AI?
I don't know if he's saying that, but he's saying that it's here to help serve and help humanity.
There are AI chatbots now that are trying to allow people to talk to Jesus and talk to Satan.
Churches are doing it.
What is
Leave those
happening?
churches.
I mean,
That's happening.
I'm pretty sure Meta's had this Jesus one forever.
It's
Like once they rolled it out.
but there's churches doing it now, and they're like, yeah, you can talk to Satan. Like, if you know anything about Catholic exorcisms, one of the things that people who do them will tell you is that you do not enter into a conversation or a debate with the demon because they are by nature manipulative liars. And their whole goal is to throw you off of your reliance on God and to trick you into helping them. So, like, this idea of talking to Satan through a chatbot is so horrifying to me. I can't even put it into words.
I want to wrap things up and touch on a few different things that we spoke on tonight and bring it all together, from the foreign manipulation onto the AI. So,
And Elon, how is Israel to blame for all of it?
oh, well, Israel's obviously doing all the manipulating, and the AI is Jewish. If we ever got to general AI,
Wait,
There's a
be the
clip
chosen
from-
Okay, all right, let's clip that, and then add Larry Ellison and Oracle. You got a point.
I think this is the bigger picture thing of what's going on and that we should understand. In the past decade, the way we consume news has drastically changed. The gatekeepers are more or less gone, or they're in the process of being removed. And there have been unintended consequences to that. And one of them has been this foreign manipulation that we're seeing abroad. I think this is just really the top of the mountain, the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. I think this is the only thing that we were able to see on like the surface level, but there's still a ton of other fake profiles on the social media platforms that are disseminating different news. I think we're going to see more digital manipulation through AI with different videos and pictures and whatnot. And in the future, most of the news that we consume through social media will likely be produced by AI. And
It is right now.
the way that manipulates us in the future, it has yet to be seen. There's a serious 1%er issue of the content that's being made on these social media platforms. So I think that's something we should be on the lookout for. And the way that there were big strides and changes in the way that we consume media in the past decade with social media, I think we're going to hit a similar new wave of that with AI and the way that we involve it in our news ecosystem. What do you guys think?
I think we're cooked.
Yeah.
I think it's
this
impossible.
is the most depressing episode of podcasting I've ever done in my life.
I don't know how we compete with AI slop. It's getting so good. Like, let's be real. That video of the cat playing musical instruments on the porch was amazing. And anybody can just snap their fingers and make one, and now they're going viral like crazy. We have a staff, we have a studio, we have infrastructure costs. We're nowhere near as expensive or big as, say, cable TV used to be, where obviously we grew into this. The advantage is going to be held for a little while by people who work entirely on their own. I think very likely at some point soon, this is not sustainable. One of the reasons I've very much been pushing for Timcast membership is because we've had a strong membership of tens of thousands of people for a long time. In the Discord community, make sure you join at timcast.com. But now it's becoming clear that the reality of maintaining a show like this is going to be built around having, tens of thousands of paying members for a product and not getting views on social media. And maybe this is what the machine wants. They don't want you sort of restore the old monoculture by destroying variety, by mass implementing variety. Mm-hmm. That is, it used to be only 5 channels you could watch. Everyone largely agreed on everything. But now that there's 50,000 channels to watch, everyone disagrees. Once it gets to the point where it's just noise and static, where everybody's making random content, literally no one will be able to make a living off of the space.
It feels like we're at the point of most content being noise and static. The biggest stories I see on social media are just the dumbest, irrelevant, made-up story where you really have to think about the media literacy of the people online to believe a lot of shit. Everything is the most dumb conspiracy that it's really people just buying and following what they want to believe. It's not about what's actually real. It's what you want to be real. And you could find that variety of whatever you want to be real online.
Right, I'll give you an example is when I was talking about the Charlie Kirk conspiracies on the Culture War show, and I was told 2 things. 1, Charlie was shot from behind, and the guy who shot him was in front of him in a bush. And I was like, okay, you see, those 2, that can't be correct, right? You see the incongruence here? No, they didn't, because it didn't matter, because saying it got you clicks. And so if you make a video claiming that there's assassins out to kill you right now, and that there's a plane flying around that's landed a bunch of times, and then from the airport they're driving into federal buildings where your lawyers are at, it's like you're going to get millions of views.
Look, and you also have to wonder, if this is getting millions of views or if this is being digitally manipulated aggressively. I know people use bots on Twitter and social media as a social proof for their work. Not saying there's not popular people on social media, but I know people do it as a social proof. And we see that we are being manipulated by these foreign accounts. Twitter and social media is very easily manipulated. I wonder, are there that many stupid people out there, you know, craving this conspiratorial bullshit?
I'm
I
one
mean, there
right
aren't
here.
that many viewers
I'm
at
one right
Shane's
here,
show.
Elad.
So I mean, Shane doesn't have the biggest show in the world. If people really bought into this shit, I think Shane would have a much bigger audience. But no, I don't know. I'm thinking of the
Elad,
Ian Carrolls
I
and
love
Candace
you.
Owens of the world.
Oh, my
And I mean,
goodness.
maybe you need to dip into some of that, more of that stuff.
Well,
French
I
and
think
Israelis after
if you know history, you know these things are possible. You know, and to dismiss it
things?
outright, like assassinations that are carried out by the deep state throughout the 60s and around the world, coups like that. So dismissing it makes you sound retarded.
I don't think political assassinations
Well,
are
that's
beyond.
that's what's happening. You know, like calling out, questioning these things, that's totally appropriate because if you know history, that's what's been going on.
Are you
We
worried
still don't have
about the
answers.
French and Israelis coming after Candace
Look,
Owens?
I don't know who the answers are, but I am
Let me
worried
say-
about someone
let
trying
me
to
say
kill
this.
someone.
Indeed,
sure.
and that's fair. I said this earlier today when I was talking about Candace's assassination threat, that governments assassinate people all the time. It's like
All the time.
the norm, the anomaly is when they don't. However, that being said, I find it fascinating that Candace Owens went on her show last week and said, you know, this plane, someone sent her an email, and there were federal vehicles coming from the airport and going to this address in Delaware, and it turns out it was the same address of her own lawyers. And she addressed it, I guess, saying like, yes, duh, but there's federal offices there. And the funny thing is, the left came out and said that, haha, Candace got hoaxed. She thought her own address, lawyer's address, was, you know, where the feds were going. I'm like, how come nobody came out and said Candace is in on it? Not his question.
I think I saw some of those tweets.
That why does she employ a law firm that works in a federal building or in a building with a bunch of federal undercover, you know, whatever is
Is
going
it her lawyers or the lawyers that the lawsuit was filed with?
The lawsuit was served to a law firm that works in the same building that she claims is the DEI, the FBI, the Secret Service, et cetera. And so my response was jokingly like, whoa, that proves that Candace is part of the PSYOP, and she accidentally just outed her handlers.
If she is involved in the PSYOP, it's to make us more retarded. That I believe. That she is a CIA PSYOP to make us more stupid, and it is working.
What do you think
More
is retarded?
It's
What do you
grabbing
think's
our
retarded?
attention.
What do you think's retarded?
Well, I think she advances stupid hoax that makes no sense, and it's a distraction and makes us more stupid. For example, I don't think that Bridget Macron is a man. I'd ask you if you did, but I don't want you to say something stupid and get Tim sued. So
The question
Said it
is,
last week.
why does it matter?
it's a distraction.
But
That's
no,
why it matters.
because if
it's
you
low
saw- if you
IQ
saw the
slob
series,
for
you would see-
idiots.
No, because you're just looking at headlines and clicks and basing your opinion on that. But if you watch the series, it's way more than just Brigitte Macron's penis. It's about the pedophile network that's within every government around the world.
And
And
so
that one for sure. And
what's
they're
a-
open about it a lot. You can look it up. You can laugh
We're
all you
open about
want.
what? The pedophile networks in each
The
government?
pedophiles are open about their pedophilia that are ingratiated into these administrations, just like our own. So it's beyond just the clicks that people make to help discredit her amongst the audience. If you watch the series, it's way more in depth about the problem.
I just
have, like a Jeffrey
I
Epstein.
think there's an interesting conundrum in a show claiming that you'll be silenced for criticizing Israel and people are trying to kill you while having one of the top podcasts in the world for like
I get that.
years now and making tons of money doing it. You know, I kind of just find it hard to believe that YouTube, Spotify, Apple are all like, let's prop this up. Because Nick Fuentes got banned, mind you. And she's like, remember, you can't say these things, otherwise you'll get banned. And then she's promoted massively on all these platforms.
Yep. No, she's huge, and I'm not.
And her lawyers work in the same office as the feds.
And I'm seeing people in the real world, like out of the internet, people who are Kamala voters who are diehard watchers. And so that might help Alad's case there with the people who aren't so smart, but it's widespread. The audience.
Don't you think
in
it's
the real
weird
world.
that Nick Fuentes is on Spotify and he gets banned when his podcast grows and he's censored, but Candace Owens is propped up on all these platforms, promoted, and her lawyers are in the same building as the feds?
She would say, I mean, I think it has something to do with the democratization of news right now, and YouTube has been a little more lenient, but It's a good point. I don't know
I think
why
it's sort of a huge
some people can
psyop.
say. I don't know why some
YouTube
people can
chooses.
say some things. and get
YouTube's
away with it.
always chosen who gets to be number one and who gets views. And this was proven when that woman was in her car with a pet snake and she gained something like 3 million, or she gained like 1 million followers in 2 days with 2 videos alone. Right. And it was because they said the YouTube system accidentally took her and promoted her to everybody. They have that power. So I do think it's a fair question. Why is Candace being propped up so massively across the board while being the conspiracy, like, here's the real story? I don't think it makes, I'm sorry, it makes no sense that they are simultaneously trying to assassinate her while big tech is propping her up.
I will say, though, there is a massive effort amongst a lot of influencers online to make her look dumb, right? So there's like a coordinated effort amongst a bunch of people to attack her, the same way it happened to Alex Jones, but with the corporate media, it was him against the corporate media.
Why is YouTube putting her on front page and promoting her?
Is she front page? I don't know. I've never seen that. I know that there's a lot of people
So
tuning
front
in.
page is a default setting.
Right.
No, everyone's front page is different.
Right.
If you subscribe to a channel and you go to youtube.com, YouTube tells you, here we have chosen 15 videos from your subscriptions that we think you want to see.
Yeah.
So there are many people who are right now experiencing shadow banning. And I've been hearing from a lot of prominent individuals saying, like, YouTube won't promote my videos anymore. And I will additionally add, if you look at some of these more prominent conservative commentators, you'll notice their views are substantially down.
Yeah.
I don't want to call anybody out specifically, but guys, seriously, just go look at your favorite conservative commentator and look at their last few videos, and their views are in the gutter. So what is it about Candace that YouTube has no problem blasting her out to everybody?
This would go
She's
back
a
to my
DEI
theory.
hire. She's a black woman. And we fetishize that on the right. We love nothing more than this so-called model minority, and we love to put her on a pedestal. That's what Ben Shapiro originally did with her.
We get
Did you feel this way about her before
now I have a question.
Yeah, I always thought she was
I have a
very
question
stupid.
about this law firm that Candace works with that is seemingly in the same building as the feds, and I want to know what her communications with them are. How did she hire them? Because you made that point. Is it her law firm or just the firm in this one lawsuit?
Right.
I'm curious. Did the Macrons file a suit and then she immediately went to the feds over this? And more importantly, if she says France and Israel, or France wants to assassinate her and at least one Israeli, you'd have to imagine she's talking with the feds, right? I mean, she knows Cash and Dan.
I think she said she did recently.
Right.
Yeah.
So then when you find out her law firm is working in the federal building, sounds to me like Candace is working with the feds. And I don't mean that as a joke. But I mean, I got to be honest. If you're being targeted by a foreign government, you genuinely believe so, and they're trying to sue you, and Trump called you about it, there's no way federal national security is not involved. Then I have the question of why is YouTube putting her on the front page? Why are they letting her be number one when Nick Fuentes gets banned straight off Spotify? Her legal team works in the same building as feds. Come on, I don't buy it for a second.
My crazy theory with that was that, and I was saying this right after, days after Charlie was assassinated, was that we're experiencing a acceleration of disinformation from all around. This noise, this distortion to sow discord.
You think that's Candace?
So I don't know. I don't know if it's Candace. What I think is the tech people who run the algorithms, who we've talked about earlier, who will take things and take isolated people and radicalize them into violence. They can do it on a widespread
I mean,
scale.
hold on.
Doing it, she's definitely
Useful idiot?
yeah, useful.
So hold on. Candace said she was talking to feds?
I think she said she reached out to them after the death threat that happened the other day.
But what about the assassination threats?
Whatever happened recently, yeah.
I think it is completely legitimate to ask these questions. Her lawyers are working in a building with the feds. She didn't disclose that when that story first came out. Why not?
Yeah.
When everyone said she got hoaxed because she read this email that said, here's the address, and it turned out that was the address where her law firm was at. Wouldn't she have said, this is a creepy email? Because it turns out, because she could have said, are they spying on my lawyers?
Yeah.
Instead, she doesn't mention it until she gets called out. So again, considering she's propped up, so I'll say this. You could argue she has a good show and people are entertained by it, but there are a lot of good shows that YouTube has removed, like Alex Jones, for instance. Yet she's given preferential access and treatment, all while claiming you can't have that. And her lawyers are in the same building as the feds, and she didn't disclose that. Has she talked with the feds? And if she did, what is she talking to them about? I would not be surprised if it turns out she does have some kind of handler. I'm not saying she's instructed to do things or that anything she says is part of a coordinated effort, but that she has a liaison with the government. And you can look at it from a variety of factors. If there's a legitimate assassination threat against you and she has claimed that, then you're from a foreign government. Of course, you're going to be talking with national security, right? the fact that YouTube is not removing but promoting her, and we know that the feds had backdoors into these systems, I think there's legitimate questions about why Candace Owens is able to do things that no one else can do.
Candace Owens is a Fed.
Well, she's a psyop to
Bro, Alex
retard
Jones
the
is
right.
removed. He can't even bring his channel back. He gets sued by these politically aligned groups or whatever, allegedly, and the Supreme Court won't take his appeal. Candace Owens comes out and makes a bunch of claims about, Charlie Kirk being assassinated, and she's propped up.
What I'm saying,
And again, I got to say it, her lawyers are in the same building as the feds. I got questions.
what I'm saying is, I think the tech people can help steer the narrative, so they might be helping to boost her without her even knowing. And it's possible she has handlers as well. I think everyone has some handler. When you get to a certain level, you get handlers. There's something Kanye talked about all the time before he disappeared, for 6 months. Always worried about having a handler. I mean, the handlers are basically what killed Prince and Michael Jackson.
So this is funny because I got comments right now saying that I met with Bibi Netanyahu. I will meet with any world leader, but whatever you think of me, my questions are completely legitimate. I'm not saying Candace is doing anything wrong. I'm saying, answer me this: why Alex Jones and Nick Fuentes are banned from everywhere, and Candace Owens is propped up. Why does Candace Owens have a law firm that is in a federal building with the DEA, the FBI, and the Secret Service?
Both Nick and
all one big accident, I guess.
both Nick and Alex, they had a narrative as to why they were booted, right? So the Alex Jones thing is because he said such terrible things about the families that were at the school shooting and stuff, about who was involved. He was making accusations, and allegedly it was, he hurt these people so much, he's persona non grata. And Nick, there's a bunch of stuff that they said there was the reason that he's on a no-fly list is because of statements he made. But nobody says that nobody says that he is being losing his page because of his
I get it. So if the point is they have said things atrocious and offensive, then it is acceptable to insinuate Turning Point insiders has killed Charlie Kirk. Like, YouTube's totally fine with that level of conspiracy.
Apparently.
Couldn't Turning Point launch a lawsuit similar to what was launched against Alex Jones against Candace Owens?
They could, yeah.
I bet that's
probably will.
I think that's coming.
Alex Jones never, my understanding is he didn't name anybody.
He didn't.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.